Olubunmi Ajiboye Agbola. A coalition of stakeholders from the Northeast region in the ruling All Progressives Congress has asked the party to pick the running mate of the party's presidential candidate Bola Tinubu from the North Central. The stakeholders said this would not only enable the party to win the 2023 presidential election, but help bring to the fore the party's respect for fairness, equity, and justice. Speaking to journalists after a meeting in Abuja, the national coordinator of Northeast APC Stakeholders Coalition, Abba Suleiman, described the demand by its counterpart from the Northwest to be considered for the vice presidential candidate position as a gross display of insensitivity to the relevance of other regions in the scheme of things in the party. Meanwhile, the loyalists of Rivers State Governor Nyesom Wike have listed conditions for the resolution of the crisis in the People's Democratic Party. The supporters of the governor in separate interviews with newsmen said it is not late for the PDP's presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar to revisit the issue of his running mate by dropping the Delta State Governor, Dr. Ifeanyi Okowa, whom he picked last month. Reports say as the crisis over Atiku's running mate worsened, the chairman of the PDP's Board of Trustees, Senator Walid Jibrin, said the party had set up a 9-member committee to beg Wike, secret to his victory at the PDP convention, where he beat Wike and other contenders to the presidential ticket. Atiku had nominated Okowa as his running mate despite the recommendation of Wike by a 17-man committee set up by the party. It was gathered that certain chieftains of the party, including the governor of Benue State Samuel Otom, ex-Plateau State Governor Jonah Jan, and others had criticized the choice of Okowa as the party vice presidential candidate. There were reports that Wike snubbed a former Minister of Police Affairs and ally of Atiku, Adamu Waziri, who attempted to initiate a peace talk with him in Turkey. An Islamic group, Tijaniya Grassroots Mobilization and Movement Initiative of Nigeria, has endorsed Governor Adegboyega Oyetola, the candidate of the All Progressives Congress, for a second term. The group declared their readiness to vote massively for the governor, disclosing that their members across the state had embarked on grassroots mobilization and door-to-door campaign to ensure his re-election. The Islamic group said their support for Oyetola was informed by his outstanding performance, verifiable credentials, and track records in the last 3.5 years, saying he had not disappointed the state and the Muslim community. Speaking on behalf of members of the group, the national coordinator of Tigmen Nigeria, Sheikh Ahmad Tijani Thani Awa, lauded the achievement of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola since assumption of office. Meanwhile, Osun State Chapter of Association of Motorcyclists has declared its total support for the re-election of Governor Adegboyega Oyetola. In a statement by the leadership of the amalgamation of all groups of commercial motorcyclists, the association identifies with Governor Oyetola because of what it describes as the governor's disposition to road infrastructure, which is pivot of their business. The Association of Motorcyclists indicates that the declaration, which is billed for tomorrow morning, will see about 10,000 members taking part in a rally for the governor. Chairman of the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, Professor Mahmood Yakubu, has expressed satisfaction over the preparedness of the commission towards conduct of the governorship election coming up next week, Saturday, in Osun State. Professor Yakubu, who stated this during an assessment visit to Osun, reaffirmed INEC's commitment towards conducting a free, fair, credible election in the state. Oluwatobiloba Odunoga has the details.
Officials of the Independent National Electoral Commission in Osun State moved down to their Akure airport in their numbers with great excitement to welcome their boss, Professor Mahmood Yakub, who came for an assessment visit so as to ascertain the preparedness of INEC at the forthcoming gubernatorial election in the state. In his remarks, Professor Mahmood Yakub noted that it has been the tradition of the commission that whenever a major off-cycle election is fast approaching, the Commission comes for a readiness assessment visit. He added that the Commission assessment officers will look into the facilities to ensure they are in order and prepare for the election. He added that his team will also monitor the mock accreditation exercise using the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS. The INEC boss maintained that the Commission will be meeting with some major stakeholders, including the traditional rulers, the security agencies, transporters, and religious leaders, among others.
It has been the tradition of the Commission that whenever a major off-cycle election is around the corner, we come for readiness assessment visit. So this time around, we are on a readiness assessment visit, meaning that we are going to look at our facilities to ensure that the facilities are prepared for the election.
Professor Yakub, who was flanked by the State Resident Electoral Commissioner, Professor Abdulgani Raji, and other directors and members of the Commission, noted that there will be another visit after the assessment, where he will call for stakeholders meeting and the signing of peace accord. Professor Yakub maintained that they are satisfied with the arrangement made so far by the State Rec, Professor Raji, including the briefings of the security agencies.
We are satisfied with the arrangement, particularly the briefings that we received from the security agencies. We met with them yesterday and consistently from our office. But we have come to see things for ourselves practically. So we are going to look at what we have done in order to review our readiness for the Osun election in terms of practical things we have done on the ground.
He reaffirmed the INEC's readiness in devoting their energy and dedication to ensure the conduct of a free, fair, transparent, peaceful, and conclusive election in the state. Oluwa Tobiloba Odunuga reporting for OSBC News.
And now moving on to sport. The Super Falcons and Bayana will clash in the highly anticipated Group C encounter at the 2022 African Women's Cup of Nations today. The game will hold at the Prince Eritier Moulay El Hassan Stadium in Rabat. It will be recalled that the Super Falcons defeated the Bayana 4-3 on penalties in the final of the competition 4 years ago in Ghana. South Africa has, however, had the upper hand in recent outings between both teams, as Bayana won 2 and lost 1. Bayana head coach Desiree Ellis emphasized the importance of getting a good result in the opening game of the competition. She added that the first game of the tournament is always the biggest game, and it makes it better because it is against the defending champions Nigeria, which makes the game bigger than what it is supposed to be. While on the foreign scene, leaders of the economic community of West African states have lifted economic and financial sanctions imposed on Mali after its military rulers proposed a 24-month transition to democracy and published a new electoral law. The bloc imposed sanctions on Mali in January after the military government said it would not organize democratic elections the following month as initially planned. ECOWAS Commission President Jean-Claude Cassibrau told a news conference that the sanctions will be lifted immediately and the borders with Mali will reopen and regional diplomats will return to Bamako. It will be recalled that sanctions have crippled Mali's economy, raising humanitarian concerns and widespread suffering. The ECOWAS mediator in Mali, former Nigerian President Goodluck Jonathan, visited the country last week, where a member of his entourage told newsmen that Mali had made enormous progress. The West African leaders meeting in Accra also accepted a pledge from the military that seized power in Burkina Faso to restore constitutional order in 24 months. Still on the foreign scene, Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky has acknowledged that his forces have withdrawn from the bombed-out city of Lysychansk, the last Ukrainian stronghold in the eastern Luhansk province, but he pledged to regain control of the lost territory with the help of long-range Western weapons. Russia said it's captured Lysychansk less than a week after taking neighboring Severodonetsk, gave it full control of Luhansk, a political win that meets a key Kremlin war goal. Reports say the battlefield focus now shifts to the neighboring Donetsk province, which together with Luhansk makes up what is known as the Donbas region. Since abandoning an assault on the Ukrainian capital, Kiev, Russia has concentrated its military operation on the industrial Donbas heartland, where Moscow-backed separatist proxies have been fighting the Ukrainian army since 2014. And that ends the media news on OSBC TV. It was edited by Kayode Adebayo. Good afternoon.